Hello there. In this video, let me make it big. Let me go for the pen. In this video, we are going to see again. This is chapter 2 of unit 1, where we are going to see something about evolutionary model, concurrent model, specified, specialized, process model, unified process. So we are going to see again different models which are available today or which are used in software engineering. So the first part is evolution model, or we call it as concurrent models. First, we modeling activities under development represent this state for software engineering activities or tasks. First, initialize under development, waiting. Then we go for under review. Then we go for baseline, and again also we can go for done if it is under review. If any modification is there, baseline, or otherwise we can go for done. Then we can go for waiting changes, any under review if changes. If any changes, then we go under review, then baseline, everything changes are this await changes. Then I'll just go back to this definition and everything for this. Just understand the diagram here. We have on a development under review. Then if you are done, you can go done. Otherwise, there is a baseline. Then you have changes. So each requirement is goes on changes and process. Now let's say concurrent engineering allows software team to represent iterative and concurrent element of any process model which we are going to represent. Also, it is also called concurrent engineers, which do also consist of series of framework activities, software engineering tasks as associate state. All activities exit concurrently, but do remember resides at different states. They are working concurrently, but the work is going on different state, different continent, and everything. Applicable to all software development, even generated at one point in the process, trigger transaction in other state. So the process works in somewhere and the transactions occur somewhere else. Like if you take today's world, like your GitHub, or you can able to do with your cloud and everything, or there are many things which can able to do it. So the concept of this one comes here as concurrent model. So what is this one? Everything is working parallelly or concurrently, consider a series of framework, and each one activities reside at different places, develop at one places, and the trigger of states takes it some other places. These are the concept of this one concurrent model. Then the next part is specialized process model. There is one more called specialized process model. This is component based development. The process applied when reuse the development objective. Means when you are using a software and you want to develop that new software by using some other product, same product of one. Now A, I've already developed a software. B, I'm using a new software, already developed a software, name already developed, and new software. But few component, about 80% of the component are used from A. So what I'm doing, I'm reusing this part 80% of this one and modifying few things. So what does it mean? The process of apply reuse of adaptability object. Whatever the object are available here, I'm going to use that one. The component means I'm taking a part of it and I'm going to develop. Formal method emphasize on mathematical specification and equipment. There is one more. Then formal methods which are there. Then AOSD provide the process and methodological approach for defining, specifying, designing concept of accept like user interface, security, what are the measurement and everything. This is different specialized process model. One is called component based, where you can use this. Other one is formal method, emphasize on mathematical specification and requirement. AOSD provide user interface like everything. So these are different process model. First one we have discussed about concurrent model, correct? Then the specialized process model. Then we have got unified process model, UP. Then what is that UP? We have got planning, we communication, and to this two part we call it as inception, and planning and modeling we call as elaborations, construction, and This we call it as a construction. Combined together construction and development, we call it as transaction. Transaction. And this we call it as product. When we release it, this is we call it as product. So we have got inception, elaboration, modeling, and everything. Communication is called nothing. Communication planning is called inception. Planning and modeling we call it as elaboration. Construction and development we call it as transactions. Correct. Now we will elaborate this one and we'll see this one. Unified process model, which was well developed in 1980. Berthed developed this one in 1980 when object-oriented language was gathering widespread use. Object-oriented language. Do remember I'm telling you object-oriented language. And early 90s. Many object-oriented analysis and design methods were proposed. Three top authors like Grady, Ever, and James were available on this one. The evaluation of UML. What is meant? Object order model came into existence in 1980 by UML. UML is robotic notation of modeling developed in object oriented, and it came into existence in 1978. So UP is nothing but unified process, which is nothing but modification of UML. Correct? We are going to see this part. So this is a what you call a template of UP or unified process. One is inception. I told you elaboration, construction, transaction, product. So as I told you up, you see this diagram. Both communication and planning comes in inception. So communication, these two, this part is requirement and everything comes up. Analyzing is also there. Design is also there. And testing is process. This is one part, this is two part, and this is n-1, this is n things. Okay, these are part of that. We will see an elaboration of this one. What is that inception phase which occur? Inception phase occur. Inception, both customer communication and planning activities for generic process. Emphasize on both customer communication planning. Business requirement for the software are defined. Yes. Rough architecture of the proposed. Yes. Plan is created for an incremented iterative model. Fundamental basic requirement are described. A use case description, action that are performed by the user. Use case differences. Inception model is here. Correct. What is that one? Inception model. What is that? Look here. Customer communication and planning activities are there. Customer communication and planning activities are there. Yes. Correct. Business requirement of the software is defined based on the communication. Rough architecture is defined. Why? Because we are here planning part. So rough activator is defined here. So rough activities are defined. Plan is created. Next part, elaboration plans. What is that? Emphasize on both planning and modeling activities of generic process. Emphasize on what? Both planning and modeling part of it, which are there here. Correct. And refine, expand, and preliminary use case model. Expand architecture represent include 5 view. What are the use case model, analyzing model, design model, implementation part? This we can see in unit 3 also. Correct, where we are going to see UML. So often result an executable architecture baseline that represent the first cut of executables. Often represent executable architecture baseline that represent that represent first cut of executable system. The baseline demonstrates the viability of architecture that does not provide all features. That does not provide all features. Just a baseline is given to you. See, same thing. Correct. Here, what we have done, we have done. Now we are moving to some part. What is that one? Construction phase. Construction phase here. Correct. We are having a construction phase. It is called construction phase, and transaction phase comes to it with delivery. Construction phase emphasize on construction activity of generic process. Use architecture model to elaborate phase input. Develop or acquire the software component that may use for each case or may reuse. Do remember this point. Analyze and design models. Use case are used to derive the set of acceptance testing. Testing is also available here, which is part of unit 5. But we will see that, but you have to go through this art part. Transaction pace is nothing but the combination of both. The emphasize last part of construction activity, that first part of development activity of the software is given to end user. Beta testing is been done. Based on the feedback report, and necessary changes are done if needed. Software team create necessary supporting document, user manuals, and installation process are done. At the conclusion of this phase, the software incremented become usable, software is released. Then product phase emphasize the last part of development activities of generic. Ongoing software monitoring is there, support the operation environment, provide defect are reported if any are submitted. With this one, I'll wind up this class. What we have done today is something we have seen about evolution pos evolution models, concurrent model, specialized process models. I just told you different process model in one slide. I have explained you what are these: component based model, formal method, AOSD, then unified process model, which is nothing but this one, and what are the phases which we required, and product phases. In my next class, I'll see something else. Thank you very much.